At first, Subnautica seems deceptively serene, a dazzling underwater paradise filled with vibrant coral reefs and strange alien creatures. But as you descend deeper into its vast, uncharted oceans, serenity gives way to dread. The light fades, the water grows colder, and even warmer in some places, and the haunting cries of unseen leviathans echo around you. Every dive feels like a gamble with death, every shadow a potential predator. This is no ordinary survival game. It's an exercise in tension, isolation, and primal fear. Subnautica doesn't just ask you to survive, it forces you to face the crushing weight of the unknown. Here's why it's one of the most terrifying and unforgettable horror games ever made. Number 1. The isolation and atmosphere. From the moment you crash land on planet 4546b, Subnautica throws you into a situation of complete solitude. There are no friendly NPCs, no safe haven. The ocean is vast, unforgiving, and indifferent to your survival. The loneliness you feel, amplified by the infinite uncharted depths, taps into a primal fear, which is the fear of the unknown. The game's sound design plays a huge role in building this atmosphere. The muffled roar of distant predators, the eerie creaks of underwater caves, and the silence of the deep trenches create an oppressive soundscape that keeps you on edge. Each dive into deeper biomes feels like a descent into madness, where every shadow and every noise could spell doom. Number 2. Thalassophobia in full effect. Subnautica capitalizes on thalassophobia, which is the fear of deep water. Like no other game, the ocean, a natural setting for countless nightmares, is the perfect backdrop for horror. Exploring the shallows is calming at first, but as you venture further, the world becomes darker, stranger, and infinitely more terrifying. The game constantly reminds you of how small and vulnerable you are compared to the alien leviathans lurking in the abyss. The deeper you go, the less familiar and more hostile the environment will become. Biomes like the Blood Kelp Zone, Last River, and the Void invoke a sense of existential dread, combining their suffocating darkness with grotesque flora and fauna. The sensation of swimming in pitch-black water, knowing a massive creature could be silently stalking you, is unparalleled. Number 3. The Leviathans, terrifying predators of the deep. Subnautica's horror peaks with its Leviathans, massive predatory creatures that dominate the game's ecosystem. The Reaper Leviathan, for instance, with its bone-chilling roar and aggressive behavior, is the stuff of nightmares. The first encounter with one is unforgettable, often leading to sheer panic, as it grabs your vehicle or attacks you head-on. The Ghost Leviathan, haunting dark corners of the game's map, is equally terrifying, glowing ominously in the pitch-black depths. Then there's the Sea Dragon, a colossal creature inhabiting the planet's vulcanized zones, whose size and power make you feel utterly insignificant. Each of these encounters is designed to evoke dread, ensuring you never feel truly safe in Subnautica. Number 4. Survival as a source of anxiety. Subnautica isn't just about exploration, it's a survival game at its core. You must manage your oxygen, hunger, and thirst, while scavenging for resources and avoiding predators. This constant struggle for survival adds another layer of tension. Venturing into deeper biomes requires careful planning and preparation, but even with the best equipment at hand, the ocean's unpredictability keeps you on edge. The crafting system and limited inventory space forces you to make tough choices. Do you carry extra oxygen tanks for extended dives, or do you prioritize tools and resources? These decisions can mean the difference between life and death, making every moment feel high stakes. Number 5. Psychological horror without the gore. Unlike many other horror games, Subnautica doesn't rely just on gore or jump scares to frighten the player. Instead, it masterfully builds psychological horror through its setting, sound design, and the player's vulnerability. The fear in Subnautica isn't about what you see, it's about what you can't see. The unknown threats lurking in darkness and the knowledge that you're utterly alone creates a tension that's far more impactful than just some cheap thrills and jump scares. The game also explores existential horror. As you uncover the planet's history and the story of its previous inhabitants, you're faced with questions about humanity and aliens and places in the universe, the fragility of life, and the overwhelming power of nature. These themes resonate deeply, leaving a lasting impression long after the game ends. This is why so many people are invested in the lore. If you want to take a longer and closer look at the picture you saw before, please feel free to pause the video. And I'm also going to take this time to ask you to maybe consider subscribing, liking, or commenting on the video. I'm still a really small guy, so like everything would help me. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Thank you already. Number 6. The perfect blend of beauty and terror. One of Subnautica's greatest strengths is its ability to mix beauty and terror. The same biomes that leave you in awe can turn into death traps in an instant. The game constantly lures you into a fake sense of security, before shattering it with a sudden predator attack or a plunge into an unexplored abyss. This balance keeps you engaged and constantly wary, ensuring that even the most peaceful moments are tinged with tension. Number 7. Immersion and player agency. Subnautica's immersive gameplay mechanics heighten the horror experience. The lack of weapons emphasizes your vulnerability, forcing you to rely on rather stealth and evasion maneuvers rather than confrontation. This approach makes every encounter with a hostile creature a nerve-wracking experience. The game also gives players the freedom to explore at their own pace, which makes the discovery of terrifying creatures and environments feel organic and personal. Now, after all these arguments and points I've been trying to make, we have come to a conclusion, or at least I have come to a conclusion. Subnautica is a masterclass in atmospheric horror by blending survival mechanics, psychological tension, and the inanimate fear of the unknown. It creates some kind of unique and unforgettable experience. Its beautiful yet terrifying world, combined with its focus on player vulnerability and isolation, makes it one of the best horror games ever made. Whether you're a fan of playing survival games or are you a horror enthusiast, Subnautica delivers an experience that will leave you in awe, dread, and admiration for its unparalleled creativity. I myself have played the game. I've also finished the game, and I thought it was a masterpiece.